Hello, this is Sally's Book Club. Today, we have a special bonus episode for you, offering an extra good book recommendation. Li Xian, who played Han Shangyan in the drama Go-Go Squid, was recently asked in an interview how he stays disciplined. Li Xian replied, I once read a book called Way of the Peaceful Warrior, which teaches people how to control their mind. After reading that book, I gradually learned to control my mind, started exercising, and persisted in doing long-term things. Moderation is advanced. So, what exactly does this book talk about? This book is published by Lu Culture and is a semi-autobiographical novel by Dan Millman. Dan Millman is a former World Trampoline Championships athlete and a gymnastics coach at Stanford University. The story revolves around two key characters. One is the protagonist, Dan Millman, a gymnastics champion with many honors. Due to an excessive desire for success, he fell into a melancholic state, often having nightmares at night, almost always the same dream. In the dream, there's a dark road, and a ghost covered in a black cloak is always following him. Suddenly, a white-haired man appears, rescues Dan, and opens his arms to him. When Dan runs to him, he directly enters his body and becomes one with him. On this day, it was the same nightmare again. After waking up from the dream, Dan puts on his coat and walks aimlessly on the clear morning streets. He comes to a 24-hour gas station to buy some food. Here, he meets the other protagonist of the book, the old worker at the gas station at night, who is Socrates in the book title. But to his surprise, this old worker looks exactly like the white-haired man who saved him in the dream. Tall and thin, appearing to be in his 50s or 60s. Out of curiosity about the old worker, he starts visiting the gas station frequently and calls him Socrates. Although this old worker at the gas station often annoys Dan and argues with him, behind the seemingly absurd conversations is the old worker's spiritual guidance for Dan. Just like a true sage, like Socrates, he helps Dan step by step out of confusion through questioning. The subtitle of this book is The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. How should we understand it? Because Socrates said to Dan, cultivating the mind is the art of a warrior, and meditation is the sword of a warrior. Having covered the book's author and story origin, I also want to share with you the 4 lessons Socrates taught Dan in the book. So, first, live in the present moment, observe yourself and things around you. Second, be undistracted and focus on the present, that is, here and now. The first and second points involve an important concept, which is awareness. What is awareness? This brings us back to Socrates' name. The prototype of Socrates in the book is, of course, from the sage of ancient Greece. Socrates, this thinker who wandered the Athenian marketplace asking questions, believed that the most important purpose of life in the world is to know oneself. And knowing oneself is the oracle of Delphi in ancient Greece. And in another land, the Indian sage Siddhartha Gautama also proposed the life lesson of self-awareness. The awakened one is the Buddha. What is being aware? It's about slowing down from the mindset of always planning the next goal to achieve, learning to be aware of what is here and now in a slow living state, and gradually understanding living in the present. At that time, the old worker Socrates in the book had a classic dialogue. He said, nothing you do can change the past, and the future will never be exactly as you wish. There has never been a warrior of the past, nor will there be a warrior of the future. Warriors live in the present, here. Your sadness, your fear and anger, regrets and guilt, your envy, plans and desires only exist in the past or future. All right, now let's talk about the third lesson. Discard all the garbage in your mind. One night, the old man was refueling a car. The oil overflowed the tank, making Dan frantic, but he calmly said to Dan, you are like this tank. full of too many preconceived notions and useless knowledge. You have many things and opinions that are not wrong, but you don't quite understand them. Before you start learning, you need to empty your tank first. So, if you want to move forward, sometimes you need to empty your mind, discard all inherent prejudices so you can travel light and have time to look at the scenery around you during the journey, enjoying the present. Fourth, warriors are proactive, fools are passive. Actually, here, the old worker wants to tell Dan that knowledge is even limited. Knowledge alone is not enough, and more knowledge cannot nourish the soul. It cannot bring ultimate peace and happiness. Life requires passionate emotions and a continuous flow of energy. Instead of letting predetermined notions in your mind dictate your actions, a true warrior must take action to practice so that knowledge comes alive and one can experience the meaning of life. Finally, I hope you can become an insightful and disciplined person, as described in the book, Choosing a Simple Life, Understanding the Difference Between Needs and Wants, and finding joy by being fully present in every moment. Remember, the secret to happiness isn't about pursuing more desires, but cultivating the ability to desire less.